spark of inspiration is at the heart of all creation.
Spark a dream that we're meant to follow.
You're listening to the Extra Magic Hour, brought to you by Walt's Apartment Podcast and the DisInsider. Join the team in the studio as they bring you the spirit of Disney through park news, history, and tips and tricks to make your Disney Parks vacation even more magical.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Extra Magic Hour. We're a Disney Parks podcast brought to you by Walt's Apartment and the DisInsider.com. What do you get when you bring together a group of like-minded Disney Parks fans from all over the country? You get the Extra Magic Hour. Now, hang on to them hats and glasses. Here's the best Disney Parks podcast in the wilderness.
You just nailed that, Shawn. Look at that.
That sounded good.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Extra Magic Hour. I am Shawn. I'm joined by my awesome hosts here. Ethan, how you doing tonight, buddy?
I am very well. Thank you very much.
Good. Well, good to have you back on. Sam, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Not too bad. My wife is out of town this week, so I am dealing with the house and puppies, and I watched my two grandsons today, which all you moms out there, I bow down to all of you because I'm completely exhausted from watching my two grandsons today. My little grandson, Ryan, honest to God, fell asleep for like 5 minutes and then woke right back up and then just wanted to continue. He never stopped moving until about 5 minutes before his mom got here. He finally fell asleep. And then she was mad because he was asleep when she got here. But hey, he needed his rest. But yeah, so moms, great job. Breanna, good to have you in here. I know you're coming in every now and then because you're busy saving lives. So welcome. How are you doing?
Hey, I'm doing good. Yes, I'm glad to be back.
Yeah, we got some fun park stuff to talk about. We're just going to get into some Disney Parks news. There's a lot to talk about. Sam will do her Imagineer focus. Breanna, you have some travel tips or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So let's get right into it. Last week, the Magic Keys in Disneyland Resort went on sale last Wednesday, the 25th. And as par for any other Disney thing going on sale, lots of issues, lots of computer glitches. I will tell you this, there's no preference on who gets them and who doesn't get them because we logged on. We got them a little over 3 hours. We were on there. You have these big YouTubers and vloggers that were on that had to hold for 8 hours and stuff like that. So there's not like they're giving preference. I don't know how you get in where you get in, but we're on some pages that like the Magic Key holder page on Facebook, and we're reading some of the comments. People were waiting until like 4 o'clock in the morning the next day.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and then there was issues with people. I saw one part they bought 4 passes of the Dream Pass, which is the expensive one, and it said 4 tickets for $5,000. And then when they clicked purchase, they had an error message pop up.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, no.
And so you're on hold all this time, and then you had to call someone to have them fix it. So yeah, so
not good.
Glitches as usual for Disney parks, for Disney anything to buy. I mean, Oogie Boogie Bash. I mean, how long did you wait for Oogie Boogie, Breanna?
I think it was 7 hours, something like that. It was ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm really glad I did because it was one of the first days in September to sell out. I think they ended up adding more tickets because I saw it go back on sale, and now I think every day is sold out for Oogie Boogie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So when are you going?
September 28th.
Oh, cool. Right on. And that starts. Does that start this on the 9th? Isn't the first one?
Yeah, it was like I think this week, next week.
Yeah,
like
I know.
First week of September.
I know Disneyland is shut. A lot of stuff in Disneyland is shut down right now for the Halloween makeover. You got the Haunted Mansion Nightmare Before Christmas makeover, which I'm going in October, so I'm very excited for the first time I get to see the Haunted Mansion as Nightmare Before Christmas. Never have seen that, so I'm super excited for that. But yeah, all the decorations are coming. The Blinky, Inky, Blinky, Winky, Mickey, that's what everyone calls him. Is the big Mickey at the end of Main Street right there is back, and everyone's excited about it. So it's Halloween time. It's September 1st right now.
And those new characters too. There's going to be some Agatha Harkness.
Yep.
Yeah, the Oogie Boogie Bash has some pretty cool. Yeah, that's a good point. Pretty good characters. It's it's Agatha Harkness, I think. Sid,
yep, from
and
Toy Story.
There was a third one. Who was the third one?
Cruella, yeah.
I wonder if it's probably Emma Stone Cruella. I'm assuming they'll probably go that route. I would think.
Well, I would assume it would be live action and not an animated Cruella, because they're walking around the parks and all, Shawn.
Right. Well, no, they have. No, they have, but they have.
I'm
Cruella,
just teasing you.
They have Cruella at Disneyland though, and she's an older lady.
Yes.
So I don't know if you guys over there at Walt Disney World have cool characters like we do here, but that's.
But yes, I would assume that because they're saying it's a new character that they're going to go with the younger version of Cruella.
Yeah. And if you're a football fan, I think I know Ethan will get this joke, but Sid, you just need to put Derek Carr out there, and it would be Sid from Toy Story. So it'd be just
that is true.
Same guy. But yeah, like I said, the passes got mine. I'm excited about it. Then just this week, because we talked about the pass. He talked about the Magic Key, and then did we talk about Genie, Ethan, when we were on here?
I don't think that we did. No.
Okay. If we did, we're gonna talk about it again because we have Sam and Breanna here to give their opinions on it. But Genie, is it Genie Plus? Is that what it's called?
Disney Genie and Genie Plus.
Yeah. Sam and Breanna, would you guys pay extra money to ride Rise of the Resistance? I know we did talk about this, Ethan, but I want to get their opinion anyway. So
yeah,
would you guys pay extra money to ride Rise of the Resistance?
Yeah.
How much?
Would
you pay $50?
No, I mean, I would probably pay $10 to $15 a person for it. I think about it like when I go to Six Flags, I know it's something that people don't expect from Disney parks. And they're like, oh, we've never had to do this before. Well, at least not at Walt Disney World. I know you guys had Max Pass and everything at Disneyland. But when I go to other theme parks, like I go to Six Flags Great America in Illinois, and it's like I have to pay for my fast pass, so to speak, experience. Right. So like I'm paying to skip the line when I go to other theme parks. It was a matter of time before Disney did it. And honestly, you can still go to the parks and you can still stand in a standby line and you can still ride the rides. If you choose not to pay for the Genie or Genie Plus, that's fine. Like you are going to pay for the experience that you have. That's what I've got to say about that.
Now, I know Breanna said before, isn't like $150 at Universal for the same idea?
I'm trying to look. Well, it's not the same idea. You can get a Express Unlimited at Universal Orlando, which comes out to quite a bit of money. I think on big summer days, it gets up to $200 and some. Jesus. But and I have never paid this. I get it free, quote unquote, from their deluxe hotels. If you stay in one of them, you get it free for every night that you're there. So honestly, if you are a big family and you're planning on going to Universal, stay at a deluxe hotel because you pay for it with getting this free Express Pass. But you get onto every ride as much as you want into the Express line, which usually is very, very close to a walk-on consistently. Wow. When I've had it, I usually am with my cousin who is younger. At the time, she was like 14, somewhere between like 11 and 14 is the years that we went. And she's not a fan of lines. So, I mean, we could consistently go on rides, and the rides that she likes to go on over and over again. So like you can constantly be on rides and never have to wait for anything. So it is a bit different than like having to hold like one reservation at a time for the Lightning Lane, but it also does cost a lot more.
Yeah. I think it's a great idea. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Max Pass. I thought Max Pass was so cool. Max Pass, because, well, okay, the difference between Max Pass and this now is that Max Pass, you could make your reservations, but you could still walk up and get free fast passes. You didn't have to do it through the app. Everything is basically paid for. If you're not paying for this service, which is $20 a person. Yeah, family of 4, it's another $80. If it's 5, that's it's a lot of money, yes, but you want to enhance the experience, I think, because you don't always get to go to Disneyland or go to Walt Disney World. So I think you would find a way to pay that to make sure that you have that ultimate experience. I think the idea of the Genie itself is a phenomenal idea, because it's basically what I do every time we go to a park is my family tells me what they want to do, and I do that. I say, hey, okay, you want to do that? So we'll go here first. We'll go to breakfast at Plaza Inn. Then we'll go here. Then we'll move down around here. We'll go into Galaxy's Edge, move our way back around. This does it for you because it tells you what you want to do. The free service for that, I think, is amazing. I absolutely love that part of it. The paying for the fast passes, I will do it. I don't see why I wouldn't do it. I would pay probably up to $20 to go and Rise of the Resistance, because I've said before, when me and Lisa went to Disneyland in July, we were lucky enough to get the boarding group for Rise, but it was the backup group. So we had to run from Lamplight Lounge, which is in one theme park, all the way to Rise Resistance, which is in the other park, which is probably, I don't know, and we thought we had to hurry quicker than we did. We got there, waited an hour and a half in the line because it was everyone that had their boarding group, their backup groups at one time. So we didn't get onto it till after 10, which to me, we opened the park that day. It diminished my thought of Rise of the Resistance because I was just tired. And I was like, oh, I waited in line for all this. And if I could pay $20 for me to go on it and be able to just know when I'm going to go on it, yeah, I would do that. And I think Max Pass is great. And you also get Photo Pass with it at Disneyland. So I think it's cool. That's my opinion on it. Ethan, Sam?
Yeah, I think I'm probably of the same mindset. Like if it's $20, I'll probably pay on. I don't know that I'll do it every time that I go. I would probably do it maybe once or twice throughout the course of my visits. I don't know that I'd pay for it every time. I think, thinking about Walt Disney World and some of the attractions that they have coming up that are going to be opening, like Ratatouille with Remy, Guardians of the Galaxy, that roller coaster. I'm just trying to think about some of the other big ones. The Tron roller coaster, when those open up, if it's $20, I'm definitely going to want to pay it. I would even venture to say with the brand new grand opening, if it's $30 or $40, I'd probably pay just so I can have that effortless experience of just being able to get on and be done with it. So that way I can say before everybody else that I got to get on and I went through a carefree experience. I am excited about Genie. I do think that it'll provide, especially those first-time goers, an opportunity to plan their day and have something else that will make recommendations on where to go and how to get places in a really time-efficient manner. Right. And what I will say is that for the experienced Disney goers like us, we'll probably look at it and go, that guy doesn't know anything.
Screw Genie. He doesn't know.
See, yes, that's my fear is I'm going to be like, oh, that's not how I would have done this. I'm feeling like I can do this so much better. Please let me fix your Genie app, Disney.
Right. Let me work the algorithm for just a few minutes for you.
I know where all the bathrooms are too, so it's
tangled bathrooms are bust.
Yeah, exactly. But I do think that for like a first time like family that's going, I do think it'll be a great experience. I think those that want to pay for the additional upcharges are going to pay it. And I think those that don't still have the option to utilize the Genie to get around, and it'll use the algorithm that's set up to make sure they have at least a comfortable experience. Mm-hmm. I'd be interested to see what comes next, because I think that's always just in my head, like what are they going to do to sort of enhance the program? Could they make it more expensive so it's just here's one package deal, here's the second package deal, here's a third that's even more expensive, but you get all these extra gizmos and gadgets, you get to go into the front of the line and all that stuff. I do think something like that has to come back. The other thing too that I'd love your opinion on is the thought of dining for the 50th. Do you think that dining will make its way back in, or do you think it's gone? What are your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm going to ask a question before you guys do it, because I've heard that there's dining. Is it dining passes, or is that what it is at Walt Disney
World? Dining plan?
Yeah, okay. I don't even know what it is. I've heard about it and heard. Okay, cool so thing. Everyone keeps saying
we use it. We use it all the time because we do table service 1 to 2 times a day because we like doing character dining. Like that's Haley's favorite thing to do is character dining. So like 1 to 2 times a day, and those add up. So basically, what the Disney dining plan does is you can like pre-reserve your dining credits, and then basically like you're paying for your plan ahead of time. So you're not paying at the restaurant. You're not paying like cash for the meal. You are using dining credits instead. So there's like some restaurants are 1 credits or like table service credit. Some are 2. Okay. You also have quick service credits that you get and snack credits. So all of that, like if you use your credits wisely, well, I'm going to say used because we don't have it right now. If you used your credits wisely, then it definitely saved you money. But again, if you weren't having like consistent table service meals and stuff, because there are a lot of people who don't like to sit down and, have 1 to 2 hour long meals, then it wasn't worth it. Ethan, I would like to see it come back because of the way my family uses it, but I don't think we're going to see it anytime soon.
Interesting.
Sounds like DVC for food.
I'm going to go back because I really didn't get to give my opinion on the Disney Genie. Sorry.
Oh, you're okay.
But
I started rambling. I'm sorry.
And I started asking questions.
Well, I started talking about the Universal stuff, but I really didn't get to go into the Genie. So the Genie, I do think could be interesting. I do think it could help a lot of people. Like everyone else said, like when we start going a lot, we kind of know how we want to do things. This also brings apart, I know a lot of people have kind of talked about being on their phones the entire trip because you're constantly looking at it. And I really hope that doesn't negate people from seeing something that like that's in the parks and like veering away, because I mean, sometimes the most magical times that I have is when I catch something off into my eye and was like, oh, what's this? I don't know what that is. I'm going to go over here and do this. Oh, look, that line's short. I'm going to go meet a princess real fast and then have like one of the most like fun times talking to a princess. So I really hope it doesn't negate from that. But I do think it could be very interesting, and it's either going to be, I'm going to love it and I'm going to like actually end up utilizing it, or I'm going to look at it and use it for the first 2 hours and then be like, nah, I'm going to go do this now and like give up. But I am glad that there's even going to be some sort of updates to the Disney app because it needs it.
Yeah.
It needs it bad. Definitely. So I'm hoping that this doesn't crash like the Disney app constantly. Also, I did hear someone, and I didn't think about this right away, is that people coming in from, right now, we don't have a lot of international travelers because of COVID, but people coming in internationally who rely on Wi-Fi because they don't have a cell phone service package for the US. Disney, like if Disney Genie is going to be utilized that much, hopefully that Disney's Wi-Fi will be up to standard and we'll be able to use, because I know sometimes I'm
it's really not.
I was like, sometimes I can use it and it'll be great in like real spots, and then I walk 10 feet and it's done. Like you can't, like some days it works great and then some days it doesn't.
Disney needs to add hotspots, more hotspots. So, they're gonna do this.
So hopefully this won't negate like anyone that's coming in internationally's like effects of doing this and how that will end up working out, which I don't know if we'll see for a while because of COVID, but I know people are international are definitely itching to travel. So see our friends soon.
I skipped you, Breanna.
Oh, you're good. And then
so Breanna, what about dining plan then?
Yeah, so dining plan. I have heard people say that because Food and Wine has started at Epcot, they have noticed that the snack credit symbols are showing up on the Epcot dining.
Oh, that's exciting.
So there is definitely some little whispers and rumors, but also nothing officially has came through. I am basically the opposite of Sam. I don't ever sit down and eat anywhere. I'm stuffing my face in an Epcot food festival or with Dole Whip's churros and pretzels. Nice. And that's about it. I snack constantly, and usually it's honestly I'd probably like sit down meals, because honestly one of the things is that it's so hot in Disney World all the time that eating is just sometimes awful. Like
yeah, those are kind of our moments of like reprise with a small child, is like when there's princesses here or other characters. I mean, granted, this is before COVID when dining plan worked for us. And two, it's like we could sit down for a couple hours. We could take a break. Like she could sit in color, do like what she's got to do. And we didn't have to be running constantly, because you can't do that with kids. They need breaks.
Yeah. So we got that. We got the food. We got the Magic Key. So we also have the new annual pass system for Walt Disney World, which was announced, 3 days ago? 2 or 3 days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit about it on the live show, and we were starting to get Breanna's opinion, and we cut her off so we could finish on this to make people come back to this show. But Ethan, kind of give us a rundown of how the pass works. It sounds a lot like the Key program. The same kind of thing. Is it a 90-day rolling too?
It's say that one more time.
I know that with the key. I know with the key, it's that you can have like mine. I can have four reservations in a 90-day window. Is it the same?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Yeah.
So go ahead and hit us with the information on
yeah.
it.
So real quick. There are, let's see, the Pixie Dust Pass, the Pirate Pass, the Sorcerer Pass, and the Incredi Pass. The Pixie Dust Pass is going to be $399. All of the options that are available have a $205 0% down with a monthly payment attached to them. So really simple at zero interest. So they're pretty simple math. But the big takeaway from this is that the water parks as well as the Photo Pass are both add-ons as opposed to being included. So they're both $99. So it's an additional, let's just say $200 to add the water parks and the Photo Passes. This Pixie Dust Pass, which is the lowest, is only available to Florida residents. It's got a lot of blackout dates, which a lot of people were a little upset about. And the next pass is the Pirate Pass, or kind of similar to the Gold Pass from years past, but $699. You can hold up to 4 reservations. There are still a number of blackout dates that covers, and this is also only available to Florida residents. The Sorcerer Pass is $899, $63 a month, available to Florida residents and Blue Card DVC holders. And then last is the Incredi Pass, which is available to everyone. So it's $12.99 or $99 a month. Hold up to 5 park reservations. There are absolutely no blackout dates. And a couple other minor things is if you're staying on a Disney resort, I think a lot of people have this question. You can book each day that you're going to be there. So if you're staying at a resort, you have a reservation, you can book each day. You don't have to only have 5 park reservations. If you're staying for 7 days, you can book the 7 days. There's no additional rule on top of the built-in rule. You still get free parking at the parks and at up to 20% on dining and merch, which is great. Current annual pass holders do not have to renew on September 8th or throw away their cards. They can still use their annual passes up until the date that it needs to be renewed. Those people are actually going to receive an additional 15% discount when and if they renew on the new program. So certainly something to keep in mind, as well as this new program is going to sort of extend over to the old program. So people with the old AP pass are going to be able to set up more reservations than they were in the past. So they're doing their best to sort of combine the two, so that way people like me who have the old pass and just renewed a few weeks ago can still utilize their pass and not have to renew on September 8th into the new program, drop more money. That would have probably pissed off a lot of people, myself included.
So since you just renewed and you'll renew, but in like a year, do you still get that discount?
Yes.
15 or whatever percent? Okay.
Yep. So it's up to 20. I think most places within Walt Disney World, especially dining, it's usually up to 15%. And then most of the shopping is 20%. And then they have, sometimes they'll extend it. They'll do AP 20% off, all over the place, which is always a lot of fun. So as of right now, yes, I should still be able to carry over all those benefits that I had before with my current AP card.
Good. Yeah, I love that it says up to 20%. Like, I'm just like, is that a sneaky little language that they're gonna be like, here's your 5% off? Like,
yeah,
like up to, guys. Like,
right. What's always fun, and it's funny. So my wife Jen is always on top of that stuff. She'll say they're doing 20% everywhere. Can we go? I guess so. Let's go. So always fun.
Know the days when you.
I feel like Jen gets whatever she wants.
Most of the women in my life get what they want. My mom says something that's like, all right, just let's just do it.
So the difference in the passes, I know we talked about this on the other show, the magic keys, you can only finance, you can finance if you live in California. You can finance all of them. And then there's a Southern California pass. If you don't, then you have to pay for it up front.
Mhm.
Now, with this pass, you can only finance, or can you buy the other ones outright?
You can buy them outright.
Okay, but if you want to finance, you have to get the expensive one if you live out of state, correct?
If you're out of state, you only have that one option unless you're DVC. So you are looking at only buying the Incredipass, Pass, which is $1,299, or $1,299. And like I said, with the financing at 0%, with $205 down, it's 12 months interest free, no prepayment penalty, so it's $99 a month. It doesn't take away from the fact that it's still really expensive.
Right.
Breanna, you made an awesome point, and I don't mean to steal from it, but you really have to look at and figure out as a group and as a family if it's going to be worth it, and you're going to go enough times to make it work for you and your family. Otherwise, you've got to look at those traditional, hopper passes or day passes or whatever the case may be.
Well, how much is a hopper pass? At Walt Disney World, roughly.
$199, $189. Does that sound right, ladies?
So you need
I think
to go,
it's like $189.
So you have to go. What?
10 times. Well, about
no, not even 10. So about 6.
Yeah, about 6 or 7 times.
Seven times you make it worth it.
So counter that in, my family of 3. That's times 3.
Right.
For my 5-year-old, that is a lot of money to dish out.
It certainly is.
So I'm not about to do it right now.
So can you? Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, can you say that in the next year you're going to go to Walt Disney World 7 times to pay for that?
No, because flights are absolutely ridiculous from Chicago. But no, too, because our family, we don't get that much vacation time together.
Right.
Our schedules don't really match up. So no, that's why I don't have a pass right now.
Yeah.
Because our schedules don't match up.
See, I got the Magic Key, the Enchant one, which you can have 4 passes, that you can have 4 reservations in a 90-day period at one time. Like I said on the other show, we're going again in March. So basically my pass is paid for on that trip. We've talked about a few other dates, maybe in January, because the flights are differently than there are pretty cheap from here down to LA, because we're literally it's like a 2-hour flight. So it's not that big of a deal. But and I've never had a pass before. So I just wanted to say I have one too. So I think that's cool. But and yeah, I think 4. I think it's 5 times is what it was for it to make sense for us. We'll go in the next year. The cool thing about that pass too is that it doesn't go into effect till the first day I use it.
Nice,
which I thought was cool. So I bought it already on August 25th. I'm not going to use it till March 20th.
Yeah.
So then I have it from a year from there, which I think is a pretty cool deal. So to have, because when they raise the price next year at this time, I'll still have mine for another 6 months after that. So that'll be nice. It's odd.
Go ahead.
It's odd that you have to. That I couldn't do a monthly payment, but you can if you do the most expensive one. I just found that really odd.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I think it's interesting why that becomes a difference between coast to coast things. But I am very happy that Disneyland don't start until you go into the park. I've definitely been looking into getting one again. I'm trying to figure out my life. Will I be back on the West Coast after the new year, or and then I am hopefully going in September, along with the Oogie Boogie Bash. I do already have my tickets for that, but how many days will I actually be in Disneyland, not at the party, and kind of deciding if it's worth it. Also, so many of the reservations are selling out right now. So I've got to kind of watch that before I make my full decision.
Yeah, we did the Enchant one, which was $649, which I think is not bad at all. So that's 4.5 trips.
Yeah, I think that was the one I was looking at mostly. I did do a little bit on the Walt Disney World app. So 5 days with a park hopper. Now this is in September, which is kind of the off season. So tickets are probably a little cheaper, come out to $500. So this is 7 days for a park hopper for 7 days, $571. So you would need 3 full weeks worth of trips to justify your $1,300 annual pass.
And that's not including flying for those of us who have a flight.
Right.
Or accommodations.
Yeah. That's crazy when you put it that way. That's wow.
Yeah.
I do think, and I'm working specifically off of my own reasoning and my own speculation. I do think in order for like the people that are on the outside of Florida, I do think that they're going to have to come up with an option that's like $749. I think it's going to have to include, a few, like it's going to have to include weekends. It's going to have a few weekends in there. And I do think it's going to have to be all encompassing. So it's for the general public of the United States and the world and Canada and the UK.
Mm-hmm.
I think they're going to have that type of option within this, because to ask any family of 4 or 5 or 6 to dish out and plan at least 3 weeks of vacations
with no with no weekends, basically.
Right.
It's
going to be
like
really
I would get rid of the park hopper and do 1 park per day if I could have weekends.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that'll be an option where it's no park hopper. I think that's really logical. And then it's $749
add weekends.
Here's an option. And I think, and the other thing too is you've kind of got to decide like who within the family is like for us, like it almost makes more sense for Jen, where she goes so frequently, to get the Incredipass, and I would only do like the Sorcerer. Or I could even do the Pirate Pass, because
then there are those of us who don't have that Florida option. Like I live in Indiana, so it's like, no, I can only get 1 pass, and it's expensive.
Exactly. So I do think that Disney has to come up with something to appeal to more people, because otherwise they're going to lose people. They're going to lose a lot of people with that $12.99 and it being so cut and dry. Like, here it is. This is it.
Yeah, I'm very surprised that they have so many passes for Florida residents. Like, I mean, I get it. They're the big ones that they go all the time. But like, and I even remember when they were kind of talking about this with the pandemic, it's the day tickets that they make their most money off of. It's the people coming in for these long vacations that they're making their most money off of. And they make it so cheap for Florida residents to be in there constantly. And I mean, good for them. I mean, if Florida wasn't so, I mean, I'll go to Florida and live for a while and go to Disney all the time. Like, I mean, take advantage of this. Definitely. I'm not like trying to bash any Florida residents for going all the time. Like, there are people that move there to do that. And I think that's fun and awesome. But it just kind of surprises me that was kind of the direction they took with these annual passes, that they had a lot of cheap options, resident only options.
Whereas honestly, they probably could have made more money doing it the other way, because the Florida residents are still going to pay. They're still going to want to be in the park. They moved there to be in the parks.
And honestly, if I move there to be in the parks, I'll pay $1,300 for a pass to have no blackout days. And especially because
you don't have to have a flight, and you don't have to have a flight.
Yeah, I can go. What would it be, 21 days in a year? I can do that if I'm a Florida resident, no issue. Like, I would have no issue paying $1,300 if I lived in Florida.
Yeah, no, my round trip flights are like $900 a person. So
Wow,
not good.
Yeah, flights are ridiculous right now.
Well, Chicago is expensive to fly out of too.
Yeah, I was like, and it's just like, that was actually one of the tips that I would love to do at some point. But I have found that this year is completely unpredictable. I used to be able to know exactly what I was going to pay anytime I flew before I even looked at tickets. I have no idea anymore. And honestly, every single time I have flown this year, my flight has been delayed by hours. Like, it's becoming ridiculous. So. Traveling's just not fun right now.
So it sounds like in the group of us 4 here, I wouldn't buy one at all because I've never been there. So, and I just bought the other one. Breanna would if she could live there. Sam would if flights were cheaper. Ethan might because he has property there or something. I understand.
Yeah, we're gonna end up renewing again. It'll be a slight discount, which is good. And I won't go as frequently as Jen will, so I will definitely buy a cheaper of the passes.
So Breanna, we are moving in with Ethan.
Got it. I mean,
and we're getting passes.
Honestly,
we can make that happen. It's really quite easy. It's a huge system flaw that I figured out a long time ago.
You understand? We're recording this, right?
We'll talk about it after.
As someone that travels for a living, I have learned how to become a resident of every state that I've ever lived in.
Let's just say, open a bank account in Florida.
Yeah, Breanna, where you actually from? I mean, do you have
Ohio.
Is that where your license is?
From the Midwest.
Yeah,
Ohio's
I have a Ohio driver's license. I actually flew back to Ohio last week to go renew my driver's license.
Oh, wow.
Well, next time you fly over me, just wave.
Okay. I usually get delayed in Chicago, so because that's been my life.
I'll come kidnap you.
Everywhere.
Okay. I literally have. I've been stuck in so many airports. I hate it. It's driving me absolutely insane.
Do we have any more news?
No, that's really.
Or are we ready for?
Let's do the Imagineer focus and then get some travel tips, and we'll wrap her up because it's late for Ethan and Sam. So let's get it.
It's later for Ethan than it is for me. But
okay, so I'm actually tomorrow anyway, so it's fine.
Oh, he'll be fine. So I'm super excited about the Imagineer for tonight because I'm going to be telling you guys about Sam McKim. Anybody know who Sam McKim is? Okay.
No.
So a lot of people don't know who Sam McKim is, and that's okay because he actually, his first role that he auditioned for or applied for with Disney was one that he didn't get. He was 12 years old and he auditioned for Pinocchio, the voice of Pinocchio.
Oh, wow.
Did not get it in 1937. So then he started being extras in some Disney films like The Lone Ranger, Three Musketeers. Like he liked Western type things. So he was a voice actor. He was an extra for a while. He did go to art school and then he went away to war. And when he came back, he went to Chouinard for advanced art. And he got offered a job in playing a role in, let me remember the name of it. Oh, goodness. Oh, The Long Gray Line with Tyrone Power, Maureen O'Hara, and Ward Bond. And he said, no, I kind of want to pursue art. So his director said to him, well, Disney needs some like concept art done, some sketches done for something called Disneyland. Would you mind going and, can we loan you to them? And he said, sure. So 6 months before Disneyland opened, he went over and started sketching for them. He actually had his hands in every single land in opening day Disneyland. And for 30 years after, 20-something, 30 years after, every World's Fair attraction, he was involved in all 4 of them. He was the person who sketched Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln. So he drew the animatronic before it became an animatronic. He was beloved among all of the Imagineers that worked with him. Like our legends all worked with him, loved him. Basically, like, if there was a problem, they knew that he would be able to solve it because he was so detail oriented and he researched everything super thoroughly. So they all love that about him. I do have a couple of quotes from Marty and John Hench. So Marty said, I worked with Sam on many projects and you always knew you were in good hands. Not only because of his drawing skills, but because he was the quintessential researcher. You could bank on Sam digging out the real meat of any subject and offering a gem everyone else missed. His early black and white sketches of Main Street and Frontierland are inspirational. Still among the very best ever drawn for Walt Disney theme park attractions. He was also as fine a gentleman as you would ever want to know. I mean, like Marty Sklar saying that about you. Hello. Oh. And then John Hench said, Sam was the greatest to work with. He loved this company, and his enthusiasm was always contagious. Once he got involved in anything, no matter how problematic, you always knew everything was going to be okay. If I ever needed to hear the truth about something, I always went to Sam. Unfortunately, he passed away in 2004. He was 79 years old, and he's got one of my favorite, like, Imagineering quotes of all time. He said that for him, happiness in one's career is the measure of success. So he's had a lot of happiness and he should know. So basically, he was the guy who said, if your job makes you happy, that's how you know you've been successful. And I love that. I love that. So that was Sam McKim. He was the detail guy for Imagineering, and he had his hand in pretty much everything as an artist.
I thought you were going to say John Hench's quote. He was cranky when you said that because it seems like John Hench is really cranky. He has a lot of cranky comments all the time.
I don't know that John Hench is cranky though.
Oh, come on. Did you watch the Imagineering
like
story? He was not happy with Disney's California Adventure being built.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I mean, sorry, I don't necessarily blame him. His He liked things being the way they like. He liked classic,
right?
Like he's John Hench. You cannot argue with John Hench.
That's true. That's true. Because he'll just make some smart ass comment to you, so that's fine. But thank you for your focus there on
Welcome.
the Imagineer, and we will wrap it up with Breanna, who loves to give us some travel tips, some travel ideas, some something to pack. We need to think of a cool name for this segment.
Yes.
We'll work on it.
I don't know. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll try to think of something.
Okay.
Ethan's the idea guy now.
Ethan can come up with it. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll be better than.
Wait, Ethan's gonna be like our Sam McKim. He's gonna be the detail guy.
All right.
All right. So this was kind of what I was starting before I disappeared forever. But so I hope that all of my details are still correct. But so basically what I was going to start doing is just going through and giving a rundown of different hotels at Walt Disney World, breaking them down by their price points. So the value, moderate, deluxe resorts. Just kind of doing like a quick, like dummy's guide to what you want. So you just kind of have that little snapshot. It's broken down easy, just bullet points. So
fantastic idea, Breanna.
So that way that you're not digging through tons of information to try to figure out what resort's best for you.
Perfect.
So basically we'll start this week with the value resorts. Now the value resorts are the all-star resorts, which if Sam or Ethan may be able to help, from what I have understood, sports and music is not open at the moment. Is this correct? Because I thought they had reopened, and then I was reading movies is open, and music and sports, from what I understand, are not closed.
Yep.
And last I looked, it looks like music should be open in September, and they're aiming for sports in December.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if there's any official dates, because I just tried to fake book a music resort and I couldn't, even for December.
Yeah, no,
so,
nothing's been officially announced yet.
Yeah, so those look tentative at the moment. So the All-Star Resorts, which is movies, sports, and music, and then we have our Pop Century Resort and Art of Animation. So I'll just kind of go through all of the All-Star Resorts, even though they're not open. If people are planning a trip for next year, hopefully they will have it at hand. So we start with the sports, music, and movies. All-Star Sports, which is, again, so a sports themed. It's kind of averaging around $110-ish a night, usually on the off season, and then it will go up during, more prime seasons. They have big oversized sports decor. I guess great if you have a lot of fans of sports in your family, a lot of younger kids that play sports. This might be a good one for them. There's big footballs and helmets, tennis rackets. They have a surfside pool. They have standard rooms only, and they have not fully remodeled. They are going through and remodeling all of the All-Star resorts. They have not fully remodeled, or I don't even know fully if they've started remodeling the sports one yet. And I do not know if it will be fully remodeled when they open. But if a remodeled room is definitely on your list of must-haves, definitely check before booking with sports, because it has not been remodeled yet.
I feel like a lot of those projects have been put on hold for now.
Yeah, it looks like, and I think they are finishing up music, but I think it was because they were in the middle of music, and you can't just leave so much undone. So when sports, and I even looked, they have music and movies, pictures of updated rooms on the website, and sports is still the old model pictures. So that is something important to you, definitely check before you book on sports. This one, because there is one bus route for all of the All-Star Resort hotels, this one is the first on the bus stop. So if that's important to you, to make sure usually I feel like people think that they're going to be guaranteed a better seat or a better spot on the bus, a little bit shorter of a wait when you're coming back through. So if that's important to somebody, that is the first one on the bus route. And so next we would go to the All-Star Musics. This one they have been starting to remodel. Hopefully they would let you know kind of what's going on. I did read some stuff on the remodeling, and I know at points when they're doing these remodeling, it's kind of hit or miss on what room you're getting. So just again, if that's important, movies is your way to go because it is remodeled. But they also have oversized music decor, so it's big. They're the second on the bus route, so you're kind of in the middle when you're on the music side. And they have standard rooms and family suites. And this will be the cheapest like family suites that you can get like on property. So if you're looking for something with bigger rooms, music is going to be your option.
Breanna, do the All-Star Resorts also do preferred rooms?
Yes, they have preferred, and I don't know if it's value or standard, probably standard is what it's called. So preferred rooms are going to be closer to the lobby and closer to when you're getting off the bus because these are very large resorts. And with the standard room, you could be walking quite a bit of distance back to your room. And the preferred rooms are closer to the bus stop, the lobby, the dining, and like gift shops and stuff. Pools, yeah. Yes. That way. So if that's something, especially after long days, my feet hurt at Disneyland. So if you are,
or if you have to carry a toddler back with you.
Yeah. Yeah. So definitely something to consider, because I want to say like a $30 to $50 up from the standard room on price wise. And that might be something that's definitely doable for your family. If that's something that you prefer, like look into it because that could actually save you a lot of time. So movies, this is kind of your most Disney resort. It's got a lot theming to Disney movies, Toy Story, 101 Dalmatians, and Fantasia. Yeah. So this one has standard size rooms. They're all remodeled. They have a queen bed and then like a Murphy bed that pulls down, and then you can put it up to save some room in your room during the day, which does definitely give you some extra space. I have never stayed in one of these, but every report I've got is that these Murphy beds are comfortable and they are not like.
Well, are they like the ones at Pop Century where it's like the table and then you pull it down? It literally is exactly like the other queen bed.
Yeah.
It just hides in the wall.
That's right. Cool.
Yeah. I think that's always something because I remember when I first was looking into booking one of these resorts, I was like, is this bed gonna like fall like on me? Like what's gonna happen?
It's solid. It is
gonna spring up when I step off of, like when I sit up in the morning. Like
no, they're safe. They're solid.
You just
safe, solid beds. Right. Or like, am I gonna need like 3 people to pull it down? Like I was like, well, why are they doing
this? You
this?
can do it with one hand.
Yeah. But yeah, like honestly, I think all those concerns have definitely been thought through. They did really well with these, and it is a great space saver for like when people are getting ready in the morning. So if you have a family and you need that little extra space, it actually does help quite a bit.
Or if you need like somewhere to eat. Too, because that, you don't want kids eating in beds necessarily because they're gross. But Breanna, I wanted to make a quick comment about All-Star Resorts. So I know a lot of people are like, oh, it's the All-Star Resorts. But honestly, like if you have a large family or even like a family at all, like kids, your kids don't care what your resort looks like. No. Like if this is your once in a lifetime Disney trip and you can't afford something else, like that's fine. Like go for the All-Star Resort. Your kids are going to remember it. They're going to love it. You're not going to spend that much time in your room. They're going to want to be hanging around in the courtyards, like seeing all these gigantic, amazing things that they have for kids to look at. They're going to want to be in the pools. It drives me insane when kids would rather be in the pools than in the parks. Because I swear that is every child. I don't know what is wrong. What is wrong with my child, but she does that too. And she's a Disney kid. But I mean, I would say it's definitely worth it for families to look into.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, like they have these big, like grandiose decor. It is definitely aimed towards like kids and having fun times. Like,
and you're just sleeping there.
Honestly, yeah, like I am in the parks not open because I am lazy and I don't get up in time to ever. I've rope jumped once at Disneyland and that is it. But I know that I know. Look at Shawn's face.
We are rope dropped to kiss goodnight family.
Yeah. So. But I will be there until the park closes an hour after because I want empty pictures on Main Street type of person. Coming back, like dragging my feet, flopping, like dropping into bed, falling asleep and waking up and getting ready the next morning. And that is the extent of my hotel stays. So
no, I totally agree with what you're saying. How close is this? How close is this to the park?
Not too close.
Really,
I mean, you're on
20-minute bus drive.
Yeah, I was like, you're still on property, but you're not.
It depends on how long. Like, well, it depends on if your bus fills up on the first stop or not.
That's why
if they have to stop at all of the other All-Star resorts, it takes a little bit longer for people to load and stuff, especially if they've got strollers they need to fold up and kids to get situated. Right. But I mean, honestly, you just account for that in your time. Yeah. Most kids get up early, like they get up at the butt crack of dawn.
Right.
Like, for lack of a better word, kids get up early. It's annoying. But I say that because I'm a mom and I get up at 5:30 in the morning. But
we stay right across the street from Disneyland. And I'm fine with it. I'm Harbor Boulevard. If you know Disneyland, that's where you go. Anaheim Desert Inn and Suites, Del Sol Inn, Best Western, Grand Legacy. I mean, they're all
but the Walt Disney World Resort is huge, though.
Right.
It's huge. It is not condensed. So these value resorts are going to be further away, but honestly, you're still getting to be on property. They're a great price. And
there is nothing like staying on property.
Yeah.
No matter where you're staying on property. Like, yes, there are places that it's like a better experience, but you're still on property and there's some like it's notable.
Mm-hmm. Well, the nice thing too about the All-Star resorts is you have sort of 3 different options within that value. So if you have kids, you have movies to choose from, you have music to choose from, and you have sports to choose from, which depending on your dynamic as a family, you do sort of have that luxury of being able to choose which one suits your family the best and the theming. I personally can attest to the sports one is not necessarily the best one to be staying at, in my opinion, unless you have kids that are absolute sport fanatics, just because there's always like sport groups there already.
Yeah, so because of competitions and stuff.
Exactly. So you're dealing with that additional noise of like kids who know each other being together, whereas at least with the other 2, you don't necessarily have that overall happening very frequently, so it's not as loud. But I think when you put a group of kids who know each other in a situation like that, it gets really loud.
It is. They're practicing football in the courtyard or practicing their cheers, and it's like, what are you doing? I'm trying to swim in the pool. Right. But we love that Disney gives a safe space for kids to do that and have their competitions. I know they use worldwide or the wide world of sports for a lot of stuff, but that's no more. But honestly, I think the biggest setback is the bus situation. But for us, like, we rent a car, so we have transportation to get us to the parks. Like, so it's just knowing what's going to work best for your family. Right. So if you think that your kids can't wait for, a 35, 40-minute bus, you could always get a car too. If you don't have a preferred room, save yourself some money. If you're saving money on your room, you could get a car and save that for your family. Because I mean, the only resort I know Pop Century has their own buses, but most other resorts share buses anyways, right?
Most of them do.
I was like, I could go on about how much I hate the Disney buses. But
so we do too. I'm not a fan. I will take it. Like, if my husband has gone back earlier before me, with our daughter, like if she's tired and I've decided I'm going to stay until like the kiss goodnight or something, I will dreadfully take the resort bus back.
Yeah.
But we always usually have a car. So
I think
that's another option
for that set of resorts, the All-Stars. I think, if you don't have a car, or even when you do have a car, the only bus ride that tends to really make sense is that bus ride over to the Magic Kingdom, because it brings you right to the front gate. You don't have to go to the ticket and transport center.
Or do the trolley
right. Exactly. So that's
ferry.
That tends to be, as someone who rents a car also, that tends to be the best bus ride at almost any resort except for the monorail locations and the Wilderness Lodge. That's another one where you can take the boat. So the others, I always say, if I'm going to take the bus at least once, I'm going to take it to and from the Magic Kingdom.
Yes.
I think that's the best bus ride that they offer. I just wish there were more of them and I could have my own private little section.
I just wish the Skyliner went everywhere, to be completely honest.
Absolutely.
Cool. I'd like that.
I was like, I've talked up tons about how I get motion sick. I get motion sick on the Skyliner, and I would still take it absolutely everywhere because it is so efficient.
Well, those are cool. I'm glad you're doing those focuses. What's the next one we're going to do next time? Or is there more?
Well, I still got 2 more resorts to go through.
Oh, gee. I don't know. There's 3 whole resorts at Disneyland, so that's all I know. Okay, go ahead.
It's so the next one will be Art of Animation. This one is going to be a bit more expensive, but it does have the most themed Disney rooms that you're going to get. So you're going to have, they do have a large pool. You're going to have standard rooms and suites. So these suites are themed to Nemo, Cars, and Lion King. And then your standard room is The Little Mermaid. This is the most expensive of the value resorts, but again, you are immersed into these rooms. Everything is themed in these rooms. So if you have a kid that loves one of these movies, go for it. Or if you love one of these movies, go for it.
They're beautiful. And the pool is amazing at AOA, and it's a Skyliner resort.
Yeah, so the Skyliner is technically like at the Pop Century, but you are close enough with Art of Animation to walk to the Skyliner, which is going to get you to Hollywood Studios and Epcot. So, and again, we just talked about the Skyliner. Very efficient way to travel. Usually, every time I have rode, I've either rode with one other group, and I know during COVID that they had stopped putting non-family or non-group members with other groups, so it was just your group. But even times that I have rode without any other people, very minimal lines, even in the big spots where you have to transfer gondolas. I've never waited in long lines for the Skyliner. So a very efficient way to travel. And honestly, you get to see a lot. It's a lot of fun. I love the Skyliner. And then Pop Century. Pop Century is themed to the 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and 90s. They also have a big pool. They're decored in different toys and fashion and the pop figures of this time, those time periods of these decades. They only have standard rooms, but they are all fully remodeled. They have the Murphy bed that we talked about. So it kind of gives you that extra space. One thing I noticed when I was looking through, tons of outlets for all of your phones and electronics to charge. I hate when I go to hotels and they've got 2 outlets everywhere. And I was like, I've got my phone, my portable charger, my camera, everything needs to be charged to get back into the parks.
And tie-dye cheesecake is actually pretty delicious.
They do have
you can only get it at Pop Century.
Yes.
Their food court. Pop Century has a really good food court. But like Ethan was saying earlier about sports teams and stuff, they use Pop Century a lot too. So you will have large groups of kids running down the halls and stuff. But I mean, they're kids being kids. Depends on your level of tolerance for that.
Yeah. Out of all of them, I think Pop Century is my favorite.
It's my favorite value. Yeah.
Absolutely. I think the theming is done really well. I like the just the resort itself is very nice. I think compared to the others, and they're all very similar, but I think that in terms of theming, I tend to like that one the most.
Yeah, this one's it's got a good theme. Like we said, you could walk from Art of Animation to the Skyliner. This one is a Skyliner resort. The Skyliner is right there. Great efficient way to travel. And then you've also got the buses, which I know we have dogged on a lot, but they
Pop Century gets their own buses.
Yeah, Pop Century does get their own buses, and it is the, free way to travel around the parks. It does take some time, but Walt Disney World is very large, and everywhere kind of takes some time, but it's what they offer, and it's kind of that perk of being on property that you have these transportation options, even though sometimes they're not always the best. You still have those perks, and they're there to take advantage of. All right, those are all of them, and I hope next week we will go over the moderate resorts. Also, when we get full details on Disney Genie and Disney Genie Plus, I really want to be able to break all of that down at some point, because I think there's a lot because we've got the idea, but we haven't really got to see any of the details. So hopefully we can break that down in some sort of audio form.
Nice. Well, I appreciate it. Extra Magic Hour is at an hour. Look at that. We did it.
Look at us.
And just so we know, I do have a working title for Breanna. It is Breanna's bag of Disney traveling tips. We've got a cool Disney bag with a bee on it. I mean, it's
All
just
right.
yeah.
I like it.
Boom! Right there, he does that while we're
It's
sitting
like
there.
you're Mary. It's like you're Mary Poppins pulling.
I know.
something.
That's well. You kept saying how many things you have, and I was just like, wow, she's probably got a big bag.
I do, and if I had I'm not gonna walk into my room right now, but there's a giant chair in my room that is full of Loungefly backpacks.
There we go.
Like,
Oh, my heart! I just got a new Loungefly. We'll talk about that later, though.
So
I just got a new Mickey one. It's right here. Let me grab it.
We'll have to talk off here. But yeah, this is exciting.
Yeah.
I'm glad Extra Magic Hour is back.
Yeah, we have a good crew. We're going to be here every 2 weeks now. Some of us will be here every 2 weeks, no matter what. We're going to bring us the Imagineer stuff, some little bit of parks news, talk about all the resorts and stuff. I appreciate all of you guys so much. All the listeners, thank you so much. And from all of us at the Extra Magic Hour, hope you have a magical day.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.